Maybe she could reach them before they got hurt. Dawn glanced around the dining room, then over to the bar. I'm telling you, it's not a good idea. It's an excellent idea. Yeah, if you're in the market to buy or sell sex. The place wasn't rowdy, Shay noted, merely dark and severe. It suited her mood perfectly. There were a few men, a few women, and the rusty twang of a jukebox. But Shay detected no sense of a threat. They'd used the phone here to make arrangements for Lee, then sent her to the clinic. Eve Martin was a formidable doctor who could bully anyone into good health, and often did. She was also a valued friend who repeatedly helped Shay in her efforts. The excitement was over now, but Shay remained too angry to move. She wanted to understand, to find ways to make things better. She wanted to see if any other young ladies ventured out on this miserable, wet September night. So she stayed, sipping coffee, trying to sort out what had to be done. Besides, she didn't want to be alone in her big, lonely house, with only her anger to keep her company. Even the company of strangers right now was preferable to that. It'll be safe enough. Then she smiled. I lead a charmed existence, and you know it. You're going to be stubborn about this, aren't you? If you mean, am I going to insist on having my own way? Don't I always? Yes, you do, and it's damned annoying. Shay grinned. They made an odd team, with Dawn small, her skin as black as her eyes, and Shay tall with a pale, almost Nordic appearance. They bickered constantly, and no small wonder. Where Shay often acted on impulse, driven by her emotions, Dawn was logic and reason personified. Shay trusted Dawn, and that was saying something, because other than family, Shay didn't trust easily. They balanced each other, and Dawn did a credible job of keeping Shay in line. Most of the time. Giving up, Dawn said, Do your best to stay out of trouble, all right? Her stern expression would have been daunting to someone who didn't know her so well. Shay only grinned. I mean it, Shay. Stay inside, but don't linger in this place too long. If you run into any problems, call me. Or better yet, call the cops. My own mother doesn't carry on this much. Will you just go? And stop worrying. I'll check with you later to see how the girl is doing. Dawn took one last disapproving look around, then shook her head and marched away. Shay watched her go, all the while thinking that if all the women she tried to help were half as wonderful as Dawn, she'd know her husband's money had been put to good use. Thoughts of her husband, now dead for a little over 3 years, only tightened the knot in her stomach. She missed him, as a friend, as a companion, but not as a husband, not as she should have missed him. That led her thoughts to a dead end, one she visited far too often. So Shay turned her thinking to the problems ahead, to deciding how to handle the situation with the prostitutes. She'd need supplies and a safe place to house the women. A mental checklist formed in her mind. After an hour had passed and her anger had cooled, but not her determination, she dug through her purse for a few bills, paid her tab, and left a generous tip. Her cell phone had long since gone dead, so with change in her hand she started to the back of the room for the payphone. A woman was already there, her body slouched comfortably into the corner on the small bench. She seemed to have settled in for a lengthy chat. Conspicuously impatient, Shay waited several minutes, but the woman did a convincing job of ignoring her. And finally, Shay gave up. Now that she had a definite purpose in mind, she was anxious to get busy. She left the bar and grill, thinking to search out another payphone nearby. The rain continued to fall, the wind blowing it against the building fronts and leaving the narrow streets almost deserted. Earlier, when she'd arrived to get Lee, she'd seen other women she suspected to be working the streets too. She wanted to talk to them, but apparently the weather had chased them all away. Huddling under the faded, tattered overhang of the bar, Shay folded her arms around herself and debated what to do next. That's when she saw him, and once seeing him, no way.